the biggest faces of competitive Fortnite. They went ahead and dominated with multiple eliminations. They got a victory royale. That's why your FNCS Pro-Am champions, Ozzy and Peterbot!
All of our competitors know that this is their last chance, the last stop the Battle Bus is gonna make in the 2025 FNCS Pro-Am here at the Galen Center. I better hear you guys get real loud for these pros as we seal the deal on what comes next.
Things kind of staying the same over towards the dirty docks. All three teams landing here. Reason, Faxity, they're landing towards the outside, just trying to get what scraps are left behind. You see some rare chests there, but Savage and Lachlan said, you know what? With everything on the line here in this last game, let's just contest one of the greatest of all time, Peterbot and Ozzy, and see if we could try our luck. If we take them off the map, you got to imagine that opens up possibilities for more and more elims.
And this might not be what Savage was looking for, though. Booga gonna temporarily prevent Peterbot from outright keying Savage, but Peterbot, he has other plans in mind. He's looking for that fight regardless. Savage just trying to keep this wall closed off long enough, but Pete already immediately looking to take it. Savage scrambling, ducking every which way, but Savage, he just can't get the return blow he needs. Savage is gonna fall, and Peterbot's gonna let him know what's up.
That's just disgusting. It was almost like Peterbot playing with his food with a couple of those edits. Instantly gets the upgrade with a shotgun, so now he's gonna have the Thunder. With the red eye, they're saying, hey, just keep on coming. Savage gets reloaded right above. That's where they're gonna look up and try to land the shots, but just a little bit too late and slow to go ahead and attack that one. And that gives it up to Booga and Typical Gamer.
Heads up play, though, from either Typical Gamer or Booga, not sure which one, but shooting shots to Peterbot so that he can't continue to try and apply pressure there. And poor Lachlan, he's just caught in the center of all of this. He can't even afford to leave because you've got Aussie up on heights at Slurpy Swamp. Savage doing what he can to see if he can finagle his way out of this one. But with two separate teams just hawking you down, what odds do you really have of making something out of this match?
You almost just gotta hope Peterbot gets bored and goes and moves on to somebody else that could potentially get rebooted. Lachlan's only chance is just kind of hide and bunker down into that bush. Well, he gets found out, so his only chance went out the window. But luckily, he did buy enough time for Mr. Savage to get reloaded back into this game.
But hey, can't discount what Seti and Daya have been able to accomplish throughout the course of our lobbies today. 54 points going into this one. Alex brought to his end. Only temporarily though, but it looks like Gon and Flakes have had enough. They are sick of the off-spawn fight being so conveniently interrupted by Alex. They say, hey, if you're looking for a fight, we'll pick one with you instead.
That's a heavy hitter to get out of the game as well. Not fully out, but definitely making him reset his looting opportunity as Peterbot straying away from Slurpy Swamp for a short moment. Still on the hunt for Lachlan and Mr. Savage. Both of them are just in complete shambles here. Really not able to answer the call as Peterbot gets the wall, gets the piece once, and as he fires a 78 shot, it's just a little bit too quick to the punch as he takes down Lachlan. And it's just a huge giveaway because guess what? In about 12 seconds, Taco, he's gonna reload right above Savage, and they're not only gonna know where Lachlan's at, they're gonna get a feel of where Savage is at as well.
But Peterbot's not trying to go too far from where Aussie is at. You have to remember, Booga, Typical Gamer, they are still kind of just conveniently sticking around the outskirts of Slurpy, but poor Lachlan, he just can't catch a break here as Pete takes him down one more time. 4 points already just off of these individual eliminations that Pete's been building up. Zemi and Cooper, Seti and Daya just watching this elimination feed be highlighted with Peterbot's name off cooldown. It's got to start playing mental games with you.
Already a 5-point lead over the competition of Cooper and Zemi. More so over Seti and Diaz. Kanata and Stable Ronaldo just below them, 4th place on the leaderboard. They're gonna need a monster last game. I'm talking 20, maybe 25 elims and the win. What a way to start it off though. Nice shots on the Cypher PK, and that's the first elimination in the books.
Look, Kanata, all he wanted was South Zones, and I get that that hasn't necessarily gone your favor, but Ron and Kanata are still here to play, Jacob. They are not giving catching up, and the expectations that they both set for themselves, and they're strong competitors, and they're strong-hearted competitors at that. I'm sure that we'll expect to see them pop off a little bit here with some eliminations.
Disaster continues for Lachlan as he goes down again. You see Mr. Savage just outside on that mini-map, just trying to get him back into the game as Nika, Podesai, making their rotation away from that booming base, that uncontested drop that they've had throughout the day. They're just waiting. 12 seconds have passed since Lachlan went down, so he gets reloaded back in the game, and that's a lot of information being given up, and instantly Podesai and Nika are going on the chase.
But this is exactly what the Gentlemates are going to be forced to do. They know that they're going to need more than just a strong placement to close things out. If they really want to play leapfrog with the leaderboard position, they're going to need a good chunk of eliminations to go with it.
Yeah, as of now, I do believe they're about 19 or so points down from Peterbot and Ozzy, and that's including some of the eliminations that we've had in this game so far. Haseti and Daya. They started this one in third place, 54 points, 3 points outside of that first place spot. They're just looking around, trying to get some eliminations, but you know how safe, how calculated and careful Seti does like to play, especially that he knows he has the firepower and the loadout that Daya has in their inventory with those 2 legendary slurp juices. So as long as they let those eliminations naturally come to them as they're rotating for that 50-50 is, I think they'll be okay.
And Seti and Daya, they also know exactly where a couple of these opposing duos are actually located. Poor Lachlan, though. He has just been getting beatboxed every single time he loads back in. The moment that he starts to drop, it just seems like there's going to be somebody looking to clean him up. And Savage, there's only so much he can do because as a solo, it's so difficult to actually try and prioritize getting the resources necessary to make your teammate be healthy enough to stabilize, but that's all they're looking for. It's just a little bit of stability, and that might be enough to make a difference for the leaderboard.
Yeah, especially since they both, at one point or another, were taken down during the course of this game. So loot has to be light as Kanata, stable, Ronaldo rotating in continuously from the north, from bush to bush, box to box, is Seti. Hey, this is looking like a bad opportunity there for Cypher PK, fresh off the reload. He got just a little bit of loot, but it was instantly snatched away by Seti.
All Seti really wanted in the first place, with their full intention of hovering around that stilt town. They knew Cypher, somebody, it just keeps dropping in. Cold, picking some shots at his IGL. But Cold knows better than most. You take the advantages when you have them, but he doesn't necessarily need to try and force that engagement. It's a little bit of damage. The knock would have been nice, but if he doesn't get the clean headshot, he'd rather just move in towards the zone, prioritize positioning, and then you can just peek back and control the flow of the lobby.
Right now, Courage and Cole just trying to focus on their rotation. Starting this game about 7th place, 33 points. They're at least within grasp, especially if some of their competition above them on that leaderboard goes down early. Zemi and Cooper, they have placed top 7 in all 5 games, but they find themselves in 2nd place due to just the sheer aggression of Peterbot and Ozzy able to pick up those elimination and close the gap for the bad games that they had at the start of the game.
And the scariest part too here for Zemi and Cooper is that every single time you can tell they're looking, they're hunting to see if they can find a knock, start building some elimination points of their own. But as long as there's mammoth pistols, as long as there's snipers, it's so dangerous to peek, because the moment that one of them gets taken out, they will just be so turbo focused, they won't have a chance to try and recover.
Ooh, I like this loadout coming out from Clix. He has that mythic minigun. In reload, when you're almost essentially box to box away from so many other teams, all it takes is someone like Clix and this loadout to start a lobby focus. And then bam, there goes one player, there goes 2, it's zone 5, so they will have a chance to get rebooted back into the game as Savage and Lachlan seemingly still on top of figuring out how to make it work. It's Venish and Redo, though, they're on the outside that are just closing in on that distance, and now Clix is joining in on some of that fun.
There's just nowhere for Lachlan to land. The zone is already too tight, and everyone is just preventing this poor man from actually setting even 1 foot for longer than a second on the ground. And Lachlan, he might as well almost be forced to wait until the reboots turn off, because when that actually closes off, that will be the real green light for Savage. Okay, I'm fully a solo, but Savage is probably already playing like that.
Yeah, and he's just getting chased back there yet again. This time he was able to survive, touch the ground, but not for too long as Benno and Reddish were able to clean that one up yet again. There's just a lot of pressure being put onto Mr. Savage into this last game because even though reboots have not been disabled just yet, where is Lachlan going to land? He can go deep in his zone, but he's going to have to make his way out eventually.
But look how Peterbot and Aussie, they just kind of creeped up a little bit onto this hill face that's just a little bit below where Benno and Reddish are at. A lot of shots being fired, and Peterbot knows everybody's so distracted behind them, they can just look a completely different direction. And Zemi with no Cooper, this could be absolutely disastrous here, Jacob.
I think Zemi knows what he's doing, though. He knows exactly what he's doing. He stopped rotating, boxed up immediately, knowing that they have to reach zone. So why not use this time to let Cooper reload back into this game, get as much loot as possible, because you can't really go loot for it, and maybe drop what he has. But you're seeing how Cooper went down into the first place, the crash pads. A lot of these players have those audio visuals, but guess what? With the crash pads, you see nothing.
Nothing. Just menacing by Kanata. Pretty much Goomba stopping Cooper. And that's going to be a steep uphill battle for Zemi and Cooper to try and tackle. Clicks and Lacey at Mythic is just going to be very detrimental for so many teams caught behind them too, because players are going to try to seek out that elevation point that Clicks and Lacey are on, and they just have the ultimate cutoff.
Queasy and Nick, they're the ones that are on the high ground for now. 6 zone relatively early, especially since we're going to rotate around the map here in a couple seconds. And man, that is a max pull for a good portion of the lobby, including second place Zemi and Cooper.
Zemi has no builds.
Oh,
Jacob,
no.
Zemi has 0 material, and it's really only just begun. Clicks and Lacey, sure, we might be looking at them currently, but for the top 3, Zemi, Cooper, they're already having to function with all odds against them in terms of challenging for that first place position on the leaderboard.
They're getting challenged not just on the top side, but for their second place spot as well. Seti and Daya have just tied them on 56 points. The only thing holding them above is that victory royale that they got in game number 1. And that's how close this leaderboard is. Those small differences, the tiebreaker scenarios could play a role. It's Queasy trying to lead the charge. He's going to go first, grab the high ground as Cooper grabs an important elimination onto Captain Shota.
That was huge for Cooper and Zemi. Anything to kind of stem the bleeding that this duo has been dealing with. They have just been getting completely forced out of so many of their resources. So even the smallest lifeline can have a huge impact, but they still have so much left to tackle here, Jacob.
He's still picking up some eliminations as well. Queasy getting 4 for himself. Him and Nick once again having an amazing time on that high ground. As hopefully they can hold on to it, though. They do have the crash pads and a lot of players down below. We've seen the shockwave plays time and time again as Peterbot picks up his 5th elimination by itself. 6 of the team as him and Ozzy focus Kanata and Ronaldo towards the backside of the zone.
And Peterbot, the fact that he's rocking those double chug jugs, that is a sight to behold. Obviously, the other competitors aren't fully aware of that fact like we are, but Pete's already aggressive in his own right. Having the double chug jug already unlocked for him just means that he can choose to go for those solo pushes and just trust Aussie to play supportive measures or defensive measures. His objective right now is survive.
Just like Clicks, and he has to do it by himself as a solo. Not sure how Lacey went down, but he is out of this one, joining everybody else watching this one, seeing how Clicks is going to get out of this tough situation. He does have the Mythic minigun, but Toyota's there on the other side, pressuring him. You add in the shockwave, all those builds come crumbling down. It's a tough situation for anyone to be in, let alone a solo.
But Pete, he's just got so much material, he doesn't mind giving up a little bit. But Aussie, he's been picked off from behind him. Peterbot now trying to see if he can actually dart his way back, but he can't get to Aussie's body in time. He's been cleared out the high ground. The real reason why Aussie couldn't make that rotate next to Pete Queasy and Nick at 30. They're still in control of Height 2, just launching themselves to the next front side of zone, and that's gonna force Peterbot to drop yet another layer.
And you see they didn't even tarp on over, not trying to have too many weak points for them, only build out when they have to, as Jacob gets eliminated down below. Top 12 situation here. Placement points don't come in until two more teams do go down, but they're still holding on to it with every fiber of their being. Nick at 30 and Queasy. This might be the time that they have high ground and close it out.
Clix is just so trapped in the backside of zone, barely managing to make it in off a sliver of HP, but Nick, Peterbot now continuing to just try and see if he can create any form of space for himself. He spotted out Thomas, but not sure that he's completely sold on actually taking this fight up close just yet. Peterbot gets a tag, but it's not a big enough one. He's going to use that grappler instead to move on forward, but he's got to be real careful. There are so many players starting to build a congestion on his layer.
And if Peterbot were to fall here, he has a little bit of a cushion that Zemi, Cooper, Seti, Dia will have to overcome. And even one more point being cleaned up as he gets the elimination on to Clix. That's 6 solo eliminations for Peterbot. Him and Ozzy have 7 overall, and they're trying to continue to increase that lead. And you're seeing our top 3. Seti is now by himself. He's feeling that same pressure that Peterbot is.
But wait a second, Zemi, Cooper, they might have just been reintroduced to this winning conversation. Seti getting sent so far outside into the storm. He's gonna have to use his chug jug way too early. Valuable seconds being ticked off here now. Trying to crank back up, trying to shockwave back into the zone. He does manage to make it, but only 20 left on that chug jug. Cooper loses Zemi though. Cooper's got to do this all by himself.
Luckily for Cooper, though, he does have med kits, the legendary slurp juice, different options here. Everybody in our top 3 are now officially solo players trying to hunt here, basically trying to outmatch each other. Now placement points are starting to come in. Top 9, top 8 as another one's going to fall. That's Somerset that gets taken down. Kanata is now out of this game. The players are now getting closer and closer here towards the end game where our final 3 could face off.
But that elimination that Cooper just got onto Queasy, that might just be enough time. Cooper doing what he can to try and see if there's any spare heals that he might be able to find back his own. But Peterbot takes out Seti and Dia. They're no longer in the conversation for first. Peterbot trying to hold strong to their position, but there's still other players to deal with. Cooper also doing the same on the low ground, and Peterbot's out of here. Cooper has the opportunity of a lifetime here to bring this one home.
He needs placement. He needs eliminations. It's his chance to put up some big numbers here in the final game of the day, but he finds himself in a 1v1, v2 situation here for our final 3 players left in the game, and the duo, EU's finest, Podesai and Nikov, going against Gone. That's the solo player who shockwaves towards the top, tries to fire a shot as he drops down low. Cooper's just letting them handle things. He said free placement, I don't mind.
Cooper, he might be looking to even try and send somebody back into the storm. He's got 5 shockwaves. He can buy himself a little bit of time. He's going to go straight up. He's going to throw that shockwave out, but it's not going to connect. Podesai going to get chopped out because Cooper is sending himself off with the shockwave, but Cooper, he's just stuck between all of France here. Podesai and Nikov, they will find the Gentlemate's victory in Game 6 here, but the damage has been done. Cooper falling what he did. Your FNCS 2025 Pro-Am champions are decided. Peterbot and Oceantics.
One full day of competition, Taco. 6 games. You got Peterbot, reigning defending global champion. You got Ozzy, one of the biggest faces of competitive Fortnite. They went ahead and dominated with multiple eliminations. They got a victory royale. That's why your FNCS Pro-Am champions, Ozzy and Peterbot!
Because it took them until later in the competition to really take it by force. But once you had that victory royale under your belt, Peterbot, it was inevitable that you will be stood with me and this trophy. What does it mean to take victory at the Pro-Am?
It means everything because now I'm back-to-back LAN winner, so.
You are, and potentially you could be back-to-back later on, but that is something we need to discuss another time. Because right now, Aussie Antics, you must be so proud of yourself and Peter.
I'm pretty proud. I mean, he's the GOAT. Everyone knows this is his win, but I did my best to try to make sure I didn't hold him down, and I didn't stop the run.
And what's interesting is normally you are watch partying this man do his thing, and now the world is watching you win. What's that like?
I mean, to be fair, in the last 2 games, you were watching me watch him again, so it felt kind of normal. He was solo clutching like crazy, but it feels amazing, genuinely. This is super fun. This was such a good event.
And what is going through your mind when that need to win really takes hold?
I don't even know. It just means everything.
Does it come naturally? Do you enter a flow state?
Yeah, I mean, like, after the win, I knew we were going to win the tournament because, like, the momentum from that game.
And you've got so much insight now for when you're watch partying at NA Major 3, Aussie Antics, because you know what it's like to be on comms with this man. So can you give us some insight now?
I mean, he did slow it down a bit for me, especially in that last game. He kept me with him, which I'm pretty proud of the fact that he cared enough to slow it down, but it's unreal. Trying to follow him is insane, but I'm just playing and it's just Elim. He's something else.
Any words to your fans before I let you lift this trophy one more time?
I appreciate all you guys, and I'm glad to bring it home again.
Well, you know what? Fortnite is all about moments, as a very wise man once said. So let's make another one right now. Guys, if you'd like to take your position behind the trophy. And please, Gannon Center, one more time! Make some noise for your 2025 FNCS Pro Champions!
I cannot believe it, guys. Guys, throw these headsets on. Come here, Ozzy. Come here, Ozzy. Wow. To think, Ozzy, we've been friends for a really long time. Man, a really long time. To think it all began on an FNCS broadcast.
Yep.
And now we've taken it to a win in an FNCS Pro-Am. Brother, how does it feel?
I mean, it's the same corny thing always. It feels amazing. I don't really know what to say. I wasn't honestly expecting this. I know it sounds crazy, like I'm playing with Peterbot, like he's the favorite to win, but I thought like there's some really, really good duos here, but I mean, he's just too good. But it's been so much fun. The event's been amazing. The vibe's been amazing. I'm so happy. I'm 1-for-1 win now. 1 tournament, 1 win. Now I got to stop. I know everyone's going to ask you to keep playing. Nah, done. 100% win rate. That's it. I'm going to hold on to that.
That's awesome, Pete. I mean, I feel like we're good friends now. I see you like this pretty often.
Yep.
You know, another accolade, another notch on the belt. Does it feel any different? Does this feel special at all? Or are you just like, well, another day at the office?
It's just another day, to be honest. But it does feel good to play in front of a crowd because you don't get to do that often, and to win, you know, it just feels good.
Guys, before we get to Vivid and his questions, we also have medals as well. So you guys can get trophies, medals.
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, this is my, oh yeah, wow, okay, nice. Yeah, all right, I get
Thank
this.
you.
I mean, and that trophy, it is heavy. Like heavy. I don't know. I haven't looked at a trophy before, so I didn't really know what to expect. Was not expecting that.
All right, Pete, listen, you know, I listening to Aussie's answer that he's like, yeah, I'm playing with the GOAT. I'm playing with the GOAT. He's just so good. Elim. Give us a little insight how it was to play with Aussie.
It was actually pretty good. You know, he's really good at staying alive while I'm just trying to rack up some eliminations, and that's basically just what we did the entire time.
Okay.
I mean, Peter, we've seen your streak in competitive, but you also have a streak as a sub for Aussie Antics.
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
gonna keep subbing to him?
He's a fan. I mean,
I'm just W supporter.
yeah, W supporter, honestly, yeah. He's been a supporter since day one. I really appreciate it. It's been good.
I have a question. If you guys could just take a small step back. If you just want to hold this up to the camera.
Yo,
Just
wait.
hold this up. Look at that!
Oh, let's go, baby. It was first official LAN win game and then the tournament. So, I mean, Peter, thank you so much, bro. You put OC on the map, man. Well done, bro.
Got you, bro.
You got this.
How does it feel? Ozzy, it was you. Shout out to Lachlan for, of course, that map.
Yep.
You guys got OC a victory on LAN and a title. How does it feel? It's you, dude.
I know. I don't think it'll set in until later as well. I do want to take the moment as well. It's also Mother's Day back home for me, so I missed my mom and my beautiful wife and her second Mother's Day, so shout out to them for being so supportive as well. But yeah, it feels amazing. It's been a surreal week meeting so many of my heroes and friends that I've met before. It's amazing. We have to do another one of these. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. Pete, how's it been for you? Obviously, like, you know, you're pretty used to like the pro side of things, coming in, meeting these content creators. You're also like, dude, respect, they're dapping you up. How's it been for you?
I mean, it's just good to see everyone, especially just playing on stage, you know? I don't know. Especially like when you like eliminate them, it's like you really don't get to do that often, you know? It feels good.
I do want to say as well, the crowd, my first time playing in front of a crowd, this crowd was electric. Thank you so much, guys. The energy every time. I knew every time you got an Elam off spawn if they were watching or not, because you could just hear the crowd yelling. It was amazing.
Guys, congratulations again. Don't forget your medals. You guys get out of here. Go celebrate one more time, audience. Your 2025 FNCS Pro Am champions, Aussie Antics and Peter Bond! My goodness gracious. I'm telling you guys, me and Peter Bot, we're really tight. We're good friends. We hang out often on this stage. Yeah, that is crazy though. So, you know, going into this, I think the first 3 games were a little bit of like a question mark, maybe like a little head scratcher, you could say. It's like, I kind of just expected Pete to come in and be like, yeah, 20 elimination bombs, and that didn't really happen for the first 3 games. But then the second half, he came alive.
But I'm really happy that Pete gave one of the answers, right? And he was like, oh, listen, after we got that game win, I knew I was winning the tournament. And that's kind of what I was alluding at before. I was like, listen, we haven't really seen a Peterbot-esque game. And as soon as that one happened, as soon as they won that game, even he himself being confident, I was like, yeah, they're back towards the top of the leaderboard. The momentum's there. They went ahead and carried it all the way through Game 6. Champions, Aussie Antics, and Peterbot.